So, hello, folks. I know that I said that the next time you saw the toucan, the part that I'm working on right now would be done. Unfortunately, there were problems. I have just pretty much determined that I don't like the UArt at any grit at this point. I do have a project I'm going to attempt on 1000 grit sandpaper. And if that works out, I might get, I think UArt has 1000 grit. And I'm not wasting any more money on the UArt at this point. It has gotten downright annoying. Downright annoying. This is like the third or fourth attempt at drawing this guy and getting him done, which says I'm very determined to get him done. But yeah, the sandpaper, the UArt was just, it was really difficult to build the color up, and it was still really messy. So what I am learning that I like is the more subtly, yeah, one of those, textured. I like my woven linen. I actually don't mind my cardstock, which is completely smooth and takes color. And this is Bristol paper, which is a very heavy multi-layer compressed paper. I'm a little confused about something that they said about the description of this. They said there was a smooth and then there's a more textured side. I didn't notice that. The two sides feel the same to me, pretty much. So, yeah, I didn't notice anything like that. But all that said, we're going to get this sucker done now. Hopefully this will work out well. This Bristol paper. The UArts have found a home with my granddaughter, and I got her some pastels, and she loves it. She loves the pastels, and the UArt is apparently very good for pastels. She tried it initially on some rougher grit sandpaper at first, which is fine. And yeah, she's happy. The control on the UArt was also off, probably because of the fact that when I had to blow excess off, the excess clung a little bit too much to the edges. Not as bad as the drawing paper I have, but worse than this. Definitely worse than this. So we are doing our undercoat right now. I am hoping that this Bristol builds up a little bit better than the other papers do, or at least better than the UArt did. I'm still going to have to do some erasing at the end of things, but that's okay. It's okay. The other thing you'll notice today, hopefully, we have better sound. I did try out a different microphone. I do not sound like I'm underwater, which makes me happy. So that's where we're at with that right now. It does catch, the microphone does catch pretty much anything that's a voice. Most of the other background sounds seem to be suppressed, but if it's a voice, so if even if it's a background voice, it seems to pick it up. And so I can't do what I was hoping to do with these longer videos, and that is to have like a show on in the background that I can listen to as I work. But I can do it with the shorter videos that I put up that are music only. That's fine, right? Of course, these videos are also about to come a bit shorter, but still, I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Anyway, still, since I'll be talking at least some points for them, we'll just keep our bird song in the background. But I am glad to be narrowing down to my favorite papers. So we are still working on bringing in and blending out these colors, putting them together. Wow, that didn't work much better than the color pop. It's a little darker. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some cleanup. What I did notice about this versus the UArt and the sandpaper is that it does clean up easy. That's one of the things about these smoother papers. See, they clean up much easier than the rougher papers. I still have to be careful with them. And I'm still going to have to do a lot of probably color repair. Wow, this stuff wants to stick. Which is also another reason why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. This inner part is going to be lighter color. So I want this darker color. You guys are getting a lot of... So I want a lot of this darker color completed by the time, or pretty much all of the darker color. Maybe not this part in here. We'll have to see how that goes. But the darker color needs to be done before I start applying the lighter color, or the darker color will smudge up the lighter color. And it may still do that, but hopefully it won't be as bad. It is very hard to get a real good solid color on any paper with eyeshadow though. And that is something that I'm going to have to adjust to. To get a more solid color, I need to use more ink. And I really do want to rely primarily on the eyeshadow for the color. Let's get a little more of that. It probably looks a bit more solid on the camera to you guys than it does to me, because that's one thing I noticed with the witch's work, the witch's hat that we did last week, that we started last week. I'm still futzing with it. Was that like that black line I put along that one edge came out looking much darker in camera, even with the photographs, than it did to me. And I'm pretty sure that's just having so much lighting so I can see what I'm doing. Oof. This one has a lot, Bristol has a lot more um, cast off excess than the pastel paper, or even than the or even in the cardstock for some reason. Interesting. I'm not mad at it. I'm surprised by it. It's pretty close to what I was getting on the drawing paper that I was using before when I first started. And that has more texture than this does. Very interesting. The description of Bristol said it takes to a wide variety of materials, including pastels. I have some new pens. We're going to try this one out. I asked people what their favorite fine line. Oh, that's a nice pen. That's nice. I shouldn't be surprised. It's a Statler. So look at that line. Look at that line. That's a nice line. Eh. Take a look. I don't know if you guys can see him coming through, but he's in there. Using him to give some texture and some definition. I had asked around, um, on an art group I'm in. Actually, I asked around in a few places, but only one person answered from the art group I'm in. Can't really see that that's blue. That's fine. We are just testing these pens out. Anyway, I asked people what their favorite fine liner pens were. And someone said Statler, which honestly shouldn't have surprised me. I have pencils and things from them. I enjoy them. They're considered one of the more um, top of the middle range, I guess. I feel like while I'm trying to layer these colors and get them to show, that the new layer isn't melding in so much as picking up the previous color. It's really weird. So I want some of this blue to be showing up. But it's picking up all the black that's underneath it instead of melding into it. So I'm thinking, just because of all this mess and shit, I mean, it's better than the other stuff. I'm not nearly as aggravated as I was with the UArt. But I'm thinking that the Bristol paper won't be for me either. Okay, so I think he's starting to build up. I'm going to try putting a little pencil in the spots where I'm having the most trouble getting the color to stick, or where it feels like to me I'm having the most trouble getting the color to stick, which is right along these edges. This is the reason why I want to do a bit more of this work offline, because it does take so many layers. If you're new here, it takes a lot of layers. So I end up working on the same spot for quite a while. Hi, baby. No, baby. Come on now. No, no. Come on. Mm, mm. From the amount of smulch I've got left here, which you see erases fairly easily, I'm probably going to have to do several cleanups per session, because even with the glassine, that got everywhere. That got everywhere. I think the glassine is mostly so say I worked down here a little bit, and then I wanted to go back up here. I could cover up down here and go back up here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of in between cleanup sessions, I think. I'm just grateful it comes off easy and leaves nearly pristine paper down. Because doing any of my lighter colors, while I still have with a dark base, is going to take those lighter colors and make them darker. It does look like I'm still going to have to do some white around the edges. So apparently I need to find a balance with this, and I'm wondering. Because if I smudge it out the way I need to, so let's try this. So another new thing I got. This one is a like an acrylic pen, I think. And this was recommended. So you hear that, huh? You hear that? That caught your attention like fast. You were just over there. This might be a bit that it's a 0.7. And I don't know if they have anything that this was recommended. Well, this is nice. This was recommended by a lot of the people in an art group I'm in. Hey! No. 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 As I was saying before my cat decided to tilt my camera, this was recommended by a lot of people in an art group that I was in. Very similar. Very similar to the gel pen. Hi! To the gel pen. It withstands more, I can say that. Definitely withstands more. No, you can't play with that. Your mama's almost done for this session. Okay. I will say I think it works better than the gel pen just a little bit. Interesting. Interesting. Playing with new stuff. That pen brought out the critter in my critter. Anyway, yeah, it withstands the makeup a little better. Which means I can use it and then go over it to get a lighter thing. I will have to use a mix of the two, I think, to get the right effect. Okay, I like that. I like that effect. So with how much this is smudging and smearing, when I blow the excess off, I think what I'm going to have to do is finish all of these dark parts, all of his black, before I can work on the middle, which is a very light yellow, because this stuff just is it's just making a mess when it goes on. And if there's other makeup down here, I'm sure it would adhere to it and ruin the bright yellow color that we want in there. So we are going to be working on the black part of this boy for a while. Now, the exception to that would probably be the eye, which I will probably do after all the yellow is in. And why, yes, our Toucan does have a green undercast for part of his coat as well. They're birds, so it's not really a coat, but I mean, you all know what I'm trying to say right there, right? So I got the green undertone in there. And we're going to work on finishing out the blue and the red points. I will say too, that's really interesting that this ColourPop black, while it works really well for the base, it's not coming across as a really strong black the way it does on some of my other work, some of the other papers I have. I just find that interesting. But I guess that also makes sense that the different makeup brands, they react differently on your face. So reacting differently on paper shouldn't be a surprise, right? Oh, we got a little hair. It's just usually the color pop actually is a reasonable black. It works really well. I haven't tried it on the cardstock yet, though, either, and for all I know, it won't work well on the cardstock. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, gorgeous. Are you here to say hello? She is sniffing one of the lights. You guys will see a paw or an ear very soon. I am noticing that my press technique doesn't help as much on the Bristol paper. What are you doing? You guys can't see her, but she's way on this side. Which tells me she wants to play with something that's over here. Don't know what yet, but something. Hi, no, no, you can't have that. Get back. Get back. Come on. Get back. Get back. Thank you. Now you're blocking my light. Y'all, this cat just took a wild ride off the table using my palettes to do it. So, yes, we had to pause and clean up the palettes. Nothing broken, thank God. But, that cat, she's crazy. She's crazy. I guess I was saying before she took the mighty leap, this pat motion that I use to press the color in doesn't seem to be helping much as it does with other papers. Alrighty, folks, I think that's going to be it for today. Disaster Kitty is back. She's here to cause trouble. I'm going to have to do a bit more work on the witch's hat, so maybe a bit before you see it. I don't want you guys to be drowning in the purples. So it will come back. Don't worry about it. We will have it back. I've already had some positive comments about that. But I want to make sure that I want to get as much of the purple done as I can. So like I said, you're not drowning in purple for weeks on end. And that's what it's going to be. You probably will see it before the purple's done, but again, it's going to be a little bit. I want to get quite a bit of it finished before we really get back into it. So, and of course, this one, the next time you see it, will also have some more work done. I actually do have a third project that's going to be a bit more long term than either the hat or Toucan, because it's going to be a series. And if my Toucan is not ready for a second showing here, you guys will get to see a third one started. How's that for fun? I thought about putting it in on Mondays, on the days when I don't do the Indigenous videos, but I think I would rather just leave those Mondays to the Indigenous. So we're going to just, if there's no Indigenous, there will be no Monday video. And yeah, I'm just going to do it like that. At any rate, I hope you have liked what you've seen and that you will go ahead and like and share and subscribe and comment down below. I would love to get your input. And in the meantime, we shall see you later. Bye.